welcome to our city. It's December 17th, 2019. Can't tell you where this whole year went. I can't even believe it. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. Our show last week, we actually did live on site for the holiday stroll. It was a wonderful evening. The weather cooperated, and I'm telling you, our downtown was just packed with people. It was so much fun just walking up and down the street and visiting with everyone and being able to talk to them and just spend time with our neighbors. In an environment aside from work and shopping and all of the everyday stuff that we do, just to enjoy one another's company.
A big shout out to First National Bank. We did the tree lighting ceremony right there. Certainly to the Muscatine Journal for putting on the holiday stroll. It was the 35th holiday stroll. That it just seems, I can't hardly even imagine that, but it was wonderful. If you didn't get a chance to go, just look onto Facebook and our city page, and you can get a really nice glimpse of everything that went on down there. I'm sure you'll see people that you know, and thanks to everybody who helped make that event really nice for our city. So tonight we have a guest, Santos Saucedo, our very own city councilman. But he does a lot of things. So he works at Bear during the day. He's our Muscatine City Councilman in the evening and the rest of the time. Also Muscatine County Board of Supervisors. But his heart is really with the Muscatine County Boxing Club. And that's what we really want to talk to him about tonight. Welcome, Santos.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for coming. When did we start the Muscatine Boxing Club?
So we started in 2012.
Okay.
In my basement.
Oh, really? At your house?
Yes,
okay.
And then we we went on to having too many kids in the basement and needing to expand to my garage.
Uh-huh.
And then from the garage, we modified a lot of stuff in the garage. I had hung more bags. And then in 2013 or 14, we ended up finding a place on 417 Grandview Avenue.
Okay.
And we ended up moving in there. And
that's where you're still at.
That's where we're at now.
Okay.
We signed a 10-year lease with them,
mm-hmm.
and ultimately it's just exploded. We've had great success. We've had a great impact in the neighborhood and
sure.
the community in regards to it, and it's been a great success for us over the years.
Because the cost is kept down so that anybody can participate.
So we basically ask for $20 a month
mm-hmm.
in donations.
Sure.
Now, we are under the umbrella of the Community Foundation of Muscatine.
Mm-hmm.
And so we opened up a fund, and now we're a 501c3 back in 2013.
Of your own,
started.
on your
Correct.
own, okay.
But we still are under the umbrella.
Still
of
under
the
them,
foundation.
okay.
So we never want to turn anybody away. So
sure.
if they can't afford it, we've worked with the United Way, worked with the Kids First program,
mm-hmm.
Helping the kids if they need to get money, but we never require them to pay.
Sure.
As long as they're still in school and they're still under the age of 18. If they're still in school and they're 18, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
But once they turn 19 and they're going on beyond that, then we end up actually getting them to say, okay, you're required to pay the $20.
Sure. But even so, $20 a month, goodness.
Well, it helps it helps
very
us
minimal.
Rent, it helps us in the gas.
Sure.
And the heating costs, which is electricity cost.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because it's an older building.
Correct.
That probably is up there, like trying to heat this building here. Mm-hmm.
It
sure.
Is. It is. But it's been a great experience. We normally see 25 to 30. I mean, lately we've had up to 40 kids, on average, and it's just it's tremendous load for us.
Sure.
But you know that you're impacting, and you see the effect that it has on the kids.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've had already 16 kids that have gone into the military, which we
making good choices.
Yeah, which has been a big impact when we start looking back and saying, okay, how many do you start? And
sure.
and 3 of those are females too.
Uh-huh.
And so you start really saying, okay, well, are we doing something that's positive? And when you see that and you come back and you hear the parents say, oh, wow, now he's listening more and he wants to be a part of this because we're taking them to tournaments or we're taking them to shows. And we can't do that without the sponsors that we have
sure.
here in the community. And so we have strict rules they have to follow. Basically, you know, if they're in any sort of, you know, altercations outside of the gym that they created or they're a part of, then they lose their privileges to be a part of the gym. It's a really good discipline program, because that's the big piece that I think that is a big success for them.
Sure.
Because I was in boxing when I was a kid.
That's what I was going to ask you. Were you?
And yep. And so the part that gets me from the passion part is had I not had that discipline, I wouldn't be as successful as I am today.
You may have made
probably,
different choices.
Correct. Well, because I had made bad choices
Sure.
when I was a young man, and that discipline, the knowing that, you know, you're only gonna get out what you put into it.
Yeah.
The more that you end up realizing that you know, you will always reap what you sow. And so
Sure.
I sowed more hard work. I ended up working a lot more. And in that work ethic, we put a lot of positive, you know, affirmations, you know, no quitters. We end up, you know, you put in. You
building
get what you get out.
character.
Correct. And so we have that around the whole gym, a lot of the positive things. And then history, pictures of kids that we had that, you know, are 10 years old and now they're working at a manufacturing facility. They're working at different places across the community.
Becoming self-sufficient.
Correct. And so it's been a positive thing that we can see over the last couple of years. And a lot of these kids, you know, they don't have the funds to be able to travel. They can't have parents. They're from a single home parents. We've had some recent ones that just came in that without trying to get too much, but they're in basically in a program where they don't have parents right now.
Sure.
So
which happens.
we basically are really, and they're being raised by their grandparents, but to see that effect of what they do, and then to see their success from where they started to where they're at now, that to me comes back and says, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Because I see their success, and when I see their success, that's my success. And it's very rewarding. And so I'm challenged sometimes because on Thursdays when we have city council, you'll see me a lot of times come in, and I'm literally leaving from there, and the coaches are right there and coming straight to city council.
Cute picture.
And when they see that, it ultimately, you know, they understand that we've had, you know, a tremendous amount of an impact on these kids. And so
sure.
It's very rewarding from that portion. But that's why sometimes I'll get people say, well, I saw you eating a granola bar on intermission, or I'm like, I said, well, that's because I just left from
Exactly.
there.
I gotta get through.
And I go from my job to the gym, from the gym to the council, the council to that.
Sometimes our meetings run long.
Yes.
They sure do.
But no, I have to say that it's really ultimately been a big success, because even in the kids now, it's not about sitting here saying, okay, this person's going to go on to become, you know, a world champion. It's always kind of a dream, and I hope that you do that. But the ultimate thing is that they become successful in life, that they understand the disciplines and the rewards that you get from the work that you put in it, and then the experiences that you get. I mean, I can't tell you how many different times we've gone to different places and just had the rewards that you see from the success from these programs that I feel is such a great builder for character that you mentioned, and being able to have self-esteem, and it's gained us a great reputation, because now when we travel, you know, other gyms are like, okay, these guys, they're no slackers.
They're no
You
slackers,
know, they're not coming
they're serious.
here, you know, and it's given us a lot of recognition across the different, you know, the different teams and the different clubs, and it gives us invitations to go to different tournaments across, you know, the Midwest, and it's been a great experience, and I continue to hope that I will still be able to do that as I start to, you know, finish off on my city council term coming up here this next week.
I can't believe your last week is your, well, it's not your last week, it'll be your last council meeting.
It will be my
You have 2 weeks.
Yes, but I am taking my name tag.
I would too if I were you. Well, you know what I love about the Muscatine County Boxing Club is it really fits in the model of the 40 developmental assets.
Yes.
That model teaches us and demonstrates that youth need all of the different positive supports and guidance that they can get. Correct. So a teacher, a principal, a neighbor, somebody at the Y, somebody like you. and some of their other coaches and their mentors at the boxing club, all of those filter in to help building that youth to becoming self-sufficient and have a good self-esteem and making positive choices and have lifelong
Correct.
choices.
Yes.
And that's what is so important.
It's very rewarding in that aspect of it, from being able to see that. And as they start seeing some of that, one of the big things that they build up is not so much just their self-esteem, it's also their self-confidence in themselves. And when
Perseverance. I mean, you could just go on and on.
It builds up a ton. And when they're able to sit here and see the level of competition that they be, the chance they go to bigger tournaments or get opportunities to travel, to get invitations to different tournaments, and they see that they're right there with these levels of top people, that is such a huge builder. And then what it does to the other kids, they're like, hey,
I can do that too.
And so then they start realizing that it creates literally a momentum builder, and a lot of times that's all those kids need.
Sure.
You know, somebody to believe in them,
and then friendships that they build are critical.
So a lot of times we've had we've even had times where we had kids that were at one time part of a gangs, and it was crazy because we literally had a situation where one kid we knew was part of one, and obviously I tolerate none of those things. Right. They know that, but they became friends, and ultimately one time they had to drop each other off for a ride, and one of them said, "Hey, don't say nothing that I did this," but and then next thing you know, I'm like, you guys need to just get away from that. You realize it's not going to be good for you, and now they become friends years later. As this they were only kids, and I'm glad that I was able to have a location that they could do those types of things from, being able to build up from. But to sit here and say I save them all,
of course not.
But to be able to say that I've been able to be a part of something that creates a good positive impact, and I can only say I'm just a contributor, because I have to giving a big thank to the community foundation that has helped us. Be able to help us with our billing. They help us, but we still have to do that with donations by the Muscatine Charities, by the United Way, by, we just had a recent one by the Howe Foundation that helped us with funding for Dario and his trip, which,
we're going to talk about Dario, aren't we?
But then we've also had it from just, general businesses that have come over and try to do that and help us donate. Just every little bit helps, and that's a big positive for us, because we really want to be part of the community, and it's been a big success because we see that, and you can see the numbers. When people come in, they're like, oh, you don't just have 5 kids. No, we have on average 25 kids, and sometimes the kids will be like, well, it's great because they build so much good friendships from different kids.
And that's so important.
And I've had parents say, well, he didn't want to do any other sport, but he loves hitting the bag, or he loves getting that anger out, and then showing the discipline, the control, and that builds that self-esteem, that confidence, and it ultimately it all builds that character that you talked about.
It does, and that's so critical for them. It really is.
And so as we start going into this next year, now we're going into 2020, we're starting to slowly build a team of kids that are going to be ready for competition. We just came back from the Silver Gloves, and so then we'll have more opportunities for more tournaments, and we're going to probably be hoping that we can travel about twice a month if possible, and it'll probably be about 12 to 15 kids that will be traveling, depending on how much competition we have. And then again, we'll have that group. But then we have the kids that have already gotten to the next level, which is where we'll have trips for like Dario and getting him opportunities to go to bigger tournaments. But I'm not going to take no thunder away from him.
Oh, sure.
Talk to him.
So they practice a couple days a week.
So we practice on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 to 6:45.
Okay.
At 417 Grandview. And then on Tuesdays, we normally will travel, or it depends on if we have a tournament. There'll be teams that have come to us. Like last week, there was some teams that came from Moline and from Davenport.
So you host the tournament sometimes
it's not a tournament, it's just practice.
Just practice.
It's just practice because our competition isn't so much the people around us, I tell the kids.
Right.
Our competition is the ones in California, the ones in Texas, the ones in New York. We're not.
So we're one big
I
team.
forced them to want to think big because winning a competition at here in this area, that's fine. You get a trophy, but I want you to think big. I want you to continue to believe that you have the ability to win a regional tournament, to win a national tournament, and we've built a lot of kids that have gone on to win national titles and females that have gone on to win world titles.
Sure.
And these are 15, 16-year-old girls and kids. And so it's been a positive impact to sit here and say, now these kids, they win a Golden Glove tournament, they automatically get on the Iowa team that now is sponsored by Iowa, and we basically I just have to pay to go pick them up and bring them back from the airport because
And
now
all the other stuff's covered by
everything's
the
already
Iowa
covered
level.
by the Iowa Amateur Boxing, and so
Okay.
that's a big plus. We had two kids that just went to that last year, and one of those kids from Des Moines went on to win the actual Golden Glove Nationals. And then went on to Ohio, where Dario was at before, and then went on to Louisiana and went on. And just this last week, that same kid from Des Moines, which is the only kid from Iowa, is going to be on the Olympic team in Tokyo.
Oh my goodness, isn't that something?
He's only 17, and so now, and our kids that were there with him, and the same thing with Dario was there with him. So you build these friendships, and you're like, now, so tell me, how much does that do? What it does is it starts building that momentum
Sure
to say,
it does.
if he can do it, I can do it.
That's right.
And now they're going to say, wait, Iowa's actually a real team. And I don't think you can sit here and think of, I don't know, how many people can you say in the last couple of years, you can say, oh, this kid's from Iowa. That's going to be on the Olympic team.
That's amazing.
And that's a great plus.
Sure it is.
And so then,
It gives them a bar to reach for, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is great.
It really does. And so we're gonna close for the holidays. We're gonna do some work. Actually, we're bringing in a treadmill that we just bought from the Y, and we bought. We work a lot actually trying to. It was during the auction and stuff.
Sure.
And so the silent auction. And we're gonna do some work on getting some things done while we're off for the holidays, and then come back after the New Year's and open back up.
Yep.
And get ready for, we got some tournament in Moline, January 25th, and then we're going to start going into the next ones.
Do you have help? Do you have coaches that help you?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see some of those in the pictures that we have, and so we do have normally 2 to 3 other coaches that help besides me. And
All volunteer?
All volunteer. We don't.
Isn't that great? Oh, there you go. Now I've seen some of these guys in the pictures.
Yep. And so we end up getting depending on where we're going and how many coaches we need. Sometimes if it's just 2 or 3 kids that are competing, sometimes I may take that, or me and another coach will go. We normally like to go at least 2. It's just a time, and you're volunteering all of this, and sometimes that takes you away from your own family.
Sure it does.
But it's very gratifying. Also, I mean, it's unbelievable that the feeling that I get after we go to one of those competitions. You really don't do nothing, but by the time we get home, I'm like exhausted.
Oh, I bet.
Like I think just all the yelling and all the screaming and the emotion that goes
Craziness,
into it, I'm like, why I didn't even do nothing? But man, I'm so tired. I'm ready to just go to bed.
I bet.
And so I feel good about those aspects.
Well, I think that's a common topic that we have on the show when we're talking to people here in our city, that Muscatine is so giving, all of this volunteer work that's being done for good.
Correct.
For good right here in Muscatine.
Yes.
And when you need help financially to cover some of the expenses, Muscatine makes it happen.
Yeah.
They just do.
It really is. One of the things that, so once a child has been in for a month, we give them a 5-point questionnaire. The 5-point questionnaire gives them 5 simple questions that they have to answer. They have to fill out themselves. Cannot be a parent. And it's like, what has the gym done for you? What do you plan on doing in the next year? What is your goals at the end of 5 years from now? Where will you be? Something I can't even remember the questionnaire.
Sure.
But I'll bring y'all, and then they'll write down their age and what size of shirt they want.
Okay.
So once they fill this out, we read that, and then it has a minimum of 40 words. They get a free shirt from the gym.
Oh,
so now
nice.
they're a part of something
that
they weren't a part of. It's not a gang. It's an association, an actual U.S. Olympic boxing / club type, certified club, and they get the opportunity to wear something. So those kids, when we have anything we're going to, there's some kids that wear that shirt And so we're trying to raise funds to eventually do sweaters at the same time. Again, recognize some sponsors and try to hope
Sure.
to provide that. And them an opportunity to
What?
to promote. We're going to try to see if we can get the community to come out, hopefully come out and watch, and eventually have some of the kids competing, like we're going to have, an example of a Daria
Sure.
if we could, and just help promote tickets to those types of events helps us raise funds for the gym.
That's right.
And our goal is to try to continue to always have fun utilities and be able to go to tournaments because, some tournaments may cost us $200 to go to, some of them may cost $1,000, especially when you're having to pay for hotel, meals,
sure.
and traveling,
Sure.
multiple kids if you're having multiple kids. And again, we don't have the ability to say, hey, you're coming from a single broken home. You've done the work, but at the end you don't have the money to pay for your lunch.
So you can't go.
I don't
Yeah,
do that.
we don't play that game.
It's not the way I work.
No.
We want to be able to do that, and so which is great because the community foundation just says, okay, show us the receipts, show us what you went to, help us identify where that's at, and that meets the criteria for your fund. Here's the funds that we need for that.
That's great.
That's been the big success for us, being able to do that, finding businesses that will, say, hey, we need 10 pairs of gloves. Are you willing to help us? Gloves are $20 a pair. If the community could say, hey, those types of things, those are always pluses. We sometimes get messages on our Facebook page that will say, hey, do you guys need a new bag? We go through bags. We normally have 3 to 4 kids on a bag, and we have 8 bags that we're hanging in there.
Sure.
And so if I could hang more bags, I would, because there's no
more room.
Yeah.
But as a 501c3, then any tax,
any
they're all
businesses,
tax deductible donations.
Yeah.
So anybody could make a donation.
Sometimes $100, sometimes we'll get $200. So any of that kind of donations,
Sure.
it helps.
Sure.
It helps with kids, with clothing that we need to buy, with shoes sometimes, with getting the kids registered, because we have to basically have an insurance once they're purchased, which is to be certified with the USA Boxing, and those are $80. And so if you have 20 kids,
well, sure.
Boom, that goes right into that
Yeah.
$1,600 of what you would have for getting books.
Sure.
For those. But right now we'll probably have like I said, 10 to 12 that are going to be competing. It's not just taking them out to compete. It's about having an environment where they can come out, get in a good exercise, do 100 burpees. Sometimes I don't like that part of it, but in the end, the parents will say, man, our kid he comes home, he just wants to eat, take a shower, and go to bed. What did you do? We love it.
Sure.
And they're not playing video games.
Exactly. Well, it sounds like the community can help by giving donations, by if they know a kid that's looking for something, that needs something, that could benefit from this.
Correct.
Send them your way. 517 Grandview Avenue.
417
Grandview Avenue.
Yeah.
And go. You have a really active Facebook page.
Correct.
Muscatine County Boxing Club, MCBC.
Correct. And there, if you go to the community foundation, you can donate online. And we've had parents that would just donate online to the community. They go to the community foundation page and then just say what fund do you want to put it in, and it's MCBC fund. And sometimes we'll just have parents that say, hey, I don't want. And to me, that's great, because then the foundation then sends you at the end of the year your 1099 saying, hey, you donated $200 over the year, and they get to write it off on their taxes. So
win-win.
And it's in the community, for the community, and then it's they come back and say, where did you spend the $200? Oh, you bought gloves, you took these kids to a tournament, you helped them pay for this, and we provide it with pictures, and so we had a good donation a couple years back, and by the Muscatine Charities, and we ended up having the kids literally, and it was like an 8-year-old's, you ever seen an 8-year-old say thank you, and they went back to them, and I heard back from the groups that were like, oh my gosh, we were just so touched by that. But it was true, because that was really you. Those are the kids you're helping.
Exactly.
You know, none of that
Exactly.
comes back and says, hey, this is for this or for that.
This isn't going off to Washington, D.C. to
correct.
some
This is-
donation.
you know, we
some
are completely
big, it's right here.
nonprofit, and it is truly helping the community right here. And so we've been very blessed in that aspect.
What
of
better
having
cause
that.
than helping our youth right here in Muscatine?
That was the one reason when I thought about why did I run for council. I was like, well, I want to help the future of the kids of
Yeah.
this community, and it's exploded after that.
Sure.
But it's still, I'm glad that I've continued to be able to keep that successful.
Yep.
And build a lot of good boxers and good kids in the community and future citizens of our community.
Well, I thank you for all the time and commitment that you give to the youth, that you've done on council. I can't believe your last council meeting's in 2 days.
I know.
You've been,
Had
ever
mixed
since
emo-
I've been
mixed emotions on
mayor,
that.
you've been my rock on the right.
Yeah.
And every time we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep. So
But you are still serving the community besides helping the youth on the County Board of Supervisors.
yes,
So the people right there in your ward, you're still representing.
correct.
Yeah.
And so I still want to be part of the community. I mean,
Sure.
even though I won't be on council, I hope that I will still be, maybe attending meetings, or hoping that I can continue to have input on certain things, because it's difficult to just leave city council.
Well,
It's
I
not
could
like you're
get
just
you on
gonna
a couple committees,
No,
you know.
I'm okay on that aspect.
Because you probably need another meeting or
No,
two to
I'm
go
just
to.
thinking as far as it's like, it's not easy for me to just close the door.
Oh,
on that
I'm
portion of
sure.
it.
I'm sure.
It's more around saying, I'll walk away from it, in a sense, knowing that I'm leaving city council, but at the same time, I probably sit down for a little bit and see how things go for a little bit.
Sure.
That's kind of in my mind, the way I feel
know.
that because I know that the new future city council will be successful. They'll do well.
You're sure they will.
And I'm very optimistic in the steps we're moving forward with. But
Can you go back to that picture, Chad? He's just put a picture of you, right? This is like when we started. We've both aged a little bit in
oh
our
my
4
gosh,
years.
I know, right?
Just a little.
Gosh.
I know.
Yeah, that has been a good.
But it's
overall,
all been good.
It's been a great experience.
has been.
I mean, it really.
Yes.
I think about when the county supervisors tell me how much they value me on there for questions that I say,
Sure.
or budgets that I'm looking at, and I tell them I wouldn't be as good as I am, or as good as you think I am, had I not been through what I went through in the council and going through those reviews. And
Sure.
I mean, it really is. It's just like a great learning experience. But I wish I could do both. But honestly,
I
I
know.
know
There's
that
only
it's
so many
difficult,
hours.
and I want to continue to add value to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so, but I hope that I continue to be a resource, and maybe you'll still call me every once in a
Will
while.
do.
And hopefully we can
Sure.
continue to come back in
And
another
work
couple
together.
years.
Yep, that's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And in the meantime, I thank you so much for the work that you're doing with our youth here in Muscatine. I know that it's critical for them to have positive things.
Yeah.
So many times people say, well, there's nothing for the kids to do, but there is.
There is, and this is the thing. If a kid can't afford to go to the Y, or
Yes.
he doesn't have a ride to get there. And they're
Yep.
living 2 blocks away from where our gym's at. They'll ride their bike. They'll come over on their skateboard. They'll come over and have an area that they can actually work out in. We have weights. We have the exercise bikes. We have the rowing machines. We have 2 treadmills. We just got another one now. And we have 8 punching bags, jump ropes, speed bags, mirrors, medicine balls. I mean, there's a ton of things.
Sure.
That are all part of that gym that basically a kid just needs to come in with sweatpants and his own bottle of water if he wants, or a drinking fountain that we got there.
Right.
But he's gonna get.
They don't have to
work.
sign up. They
So
can
we-
just show up.
We have insurance forms that they need to fill out
Sure.
by their parents and stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times we tell them, hey, come on in, take a watch for a little bit, watch
Yep.
what we do, some of the
Yep.
exercises.
See
we
if
do,
it looks fun to you.
See if it's something
Yep.
you want to do, and the rest is history after they do that. And we
Yep.
have 2 different rings where they can move into as far as depending on what work we're doing. And as we start getting the kids ready for competitions, maybe the one coach will work them on this, and then I'll work with, the different type of age groups,
Okay.
kids. But a lot of those kids, I'll tell you what, this is what they need. Especially when I get kids, so the parents say, well, he's got ADHD or he's got this, and I really believe that I have a gift that I can talk to kids a lot of times because I can understand or I can communicate well with them.
Sure.
I think that's kind of the thing that I think is a positive from that aspect of it. But a lot of times it's just, those kids just need somebody to believe in them and that plus and being able to have
Right.
something disciplined, and then at the end they see the rewards of the work that they do, and it just becomes
And that structure is so important too.
yeah.
Having that schedule, having somewhere to go and somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So, and somebody that holds you accountable.
It is because a lot of times I've had kids where parents will say, oh, I don't know about that kid, and next thing you know, it turns out to be one of my best kids.
Sure.
But because they didn't have an environment probably where they could probably let those needs of punching the bag or
Sure.
running or jump
Sure.
roping and so
And
again,
somebody valuing them.
yes, and to me that's always been a positive. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
very, very, very blessed in
Sure.
that ability to do that.
Yeah. So tell us about Dario.
Well, Dario was a kid that actually came to the gym when he was 8 years old.
8 years old. Wow.
We just started the gym, and I kind of want to let him to talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, he was a kid that you'll see some of the videos on my Facebook page, not so much on our page, but just when he was starting out, and second and third fight, there I was giving him coaching, and he started out really just like any other kid. That's what's amazing to the other kids that see him now, because they see how much he's improved from what he started. But he really he's a product of his hard work.
Sure.
He's put in a ton of work.
Sounds like he's a natural too.
Well, that too, but
But the hard work is what gets you there.
Yeah, you can't.
It's the
sit here.
dedication.
It's the dedication. It's sometimes it's really cool to sometimes people see the pictures or they see the videos or they see the hand getting raised, but they don't realize the thousands or hundreds of hours that you had, not just in the gym but at home or running or out jogging. There's times where I know he was out jogging at night and people thought he was lost, but because he was out running 3 or 4 miles, and
he put in the work then.
And so it's a lot of that hard work, and that's the biggest piece that what they see that. But again, that motivates the other kids.
Right.
They see that, and so then they're like, well, how old was he? Or they see pictures of him on the wall.
They see those benchmarks and where they could be.
Wow, and a lot of times the 9 or the 10-year-old kids, they're like, wow, he's just tall as me. He was just in there. I'm like, yeah,
sure.
He's just like you.
Yeah.
He's just, especially some of the ones where he started, he was just boxing, and he just had his high tops or his tennis shoes. Because some people think that you can get intimidated when somebody's wearing more gear that's higher than you, but it's not the gear. It's not the gear that demonstrates or gives you your skills. It's the hard work, it's the time, it's the practice.
And there's no shortcuts for that, is there?
Correct. There's nobody going to go in there and do the work for you when it's
you got to do it yourself.
It's a team sport when you're in there.
That's right.
It's a completely different type of a deal. But he's been a true warrior. He's gone through a lot of competition, and he's demonstrated a lot of success from it. But I kind of want to let that.
You want to let him
talk a little bit about that, because he's been a product of his own hard work, and that's something that his father's helped out tremendously. And I'm just blessed to be able to be a part of it, because his dad really does the majority of the training. The same thing that when if I were able to sit here and say, okay, I can dedicate that, and that's where he knows that he has to do that work.
Yeah.
So and again, a lot of the sponsors that have helped him along the way too is a big plus for us in the gym. But I'm definitely enjoying being able to see his growth, and knowing that in the next couple of years, I'm hoping that we'll be seeing him go on and continue to be successful.
That's great. So Dario started at 8 years old. What is the age group that you welcome people into Muscatine boxing?
Normally, usually about 7.5.
Okay.
And some of them are pretty strict on 8. Just because if they're going to turn 8 that year, then you can get a book.
Okay.
And so.
So because there's a structure here. It's not just your boxing on the side. You actually there's guidelines that you have to follow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So they're all sanctioned events. They all have to have their book. They have to have, complete physical. They have to have their, picture that goes into the book. They have to have a certified copy of their birth certificate.
Okay.
Once you start getting to certain levels of competition, and the big challenge for Dario is they never believed how old he was. Because they'd always say, well, that kid can't be 12, that kid can't be, and so then his dad would pull out the book, and there's, right here, look at my son's physical. And they're like, wow, and so, yeah, it's part of the rules. And so we basically have to have that. And so once they have that book, that's like your license to go and compete.
To go and compete.
But to train, we have them fill out just a it's kind of an insurance form for us. And as they start continuing to do that, if they want to go on to compete, then we get them to the next level of that. But if they're just exercising and hitting the bag and just doing non-contact sports, then we just have them fill out that, which is just kind of our insurance form for, basically protecting the gym in a sense.
Yeah.
But at his level, it's a different animal.
Okay.
But I want to let him talk a little bit about it.
All right. Well, we'll get Dario in here. Anything you and I need to make sure the people at home know? Any questions? They can message you.
So they can message on the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page.
Message and there's a couple different administrators that look at it. It should have my cell phone number in there.
Okay.
Or at least a message to say how can they come, how can they start. The page gives you the hours that we're normally on there. And you can see videos and pics of just
show them to the
history
kids
of the stuff.
Yeah, get them excited.
Of what we've done. And a lot of times the parents will see, oh, hey, I seen you doing this. Oh, well, you guys did all these types of workouts. But, oh, I know my kid's going to be tired. And they'll already know that by the time they pick them up, that they'll do that. And so part of that form also gives us the right to be able to take pictures because we're not putting it on any other type of media. But it helps promote the gym, but it also, the kids will see that. And what's great is to see the history. So 5 years ago, this 15-year-old, what he looked like, or, they're like, oh my gosh, that's how that time flies. That's why when you saw that picture of me earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even have glasses.
I know.
Now I got to wear glasses.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened in those last couple of years?
I know.
So.
Well, great. So people can give donations to the Community Foundation right there online if you like. Good time of year to be doing that.
Correct.
Closing out the end of the year.
And if not, they can just make it to an MCBC fund, and then they can drop it off at the gym.
There you go.
But it's for a good cause, and it's again for the future that we're trying to do and to create for our kids.
Helping our youth. Every dollar stays right here in Muscatine.
Every dollar does. Yes, it does.
Right here to our youth.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the boxing club, all the work you do. Certainly thank you for your public service. We'll miss you, and I was going to say at the end of the meeting, but tomorrow is a going away, or Thursday is a going away party.
Yeah, I won't be
which
there.
You aren't going to make because you're going to be with the kids doing boxing. All right. Well, at least it's a good cause.
Yes, it is.
So now Dario's going to come in, and we're going to get to talk to him for a minute.
Yes, perfect.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and while we are talking, while they're changing places, so Santos is going to get up and Dario is going to come in. But I wanted to remind folks that they're still looking for bell ringers for Salvation Army. So you can call the Salvation Army, 263-7292, I believe. Or maybe it's 82, so you better look it up. Anyway, registertoring.com, you can just go online, registertoring.com, and put in your zip code, 52761, and pull up the stores and places that it's available, and it should pin right there on you. There you go, anywhere you like. It clips. Sorry folks, I'm holding two different conversations at the same time. So registertoring.com, bell ringers needed. All the money that goes in the red kettles actually helps sponsor Salvation Army and all the programs year round. Next, I just wanted to share with you New Year's Eve. This is something they've been doing at the Art Center for Kids, December 31st, 11 in the morning until 12:30, so right after lunchtime. It's going to be all kinds of fun stuff. They're going to have a little ball drop. They're going to do crafts. They're going to make party hats and have snacks, and it's going to be a ton of fun. New Year's Eve every year, and you know, that way the kids can go to bed earlier and not have to worry about staying up till midnight. Melanie at the Muscatine Art Center works tirelessly, as well as her staff, to bring all these really fun things to our city, and we give them a big shout out and thanks. Well, Dario is sitting here now, so please help me welcome Dario Villegas. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
All right, thank you. So you go to the Muscatine County Boxing Club. You've been doing that a long time, huh?
Yeah, almost 8 years now.
Oh, goodness. So you must be 16.
Almost 16.
Almost 16.
Yeah,
And Coach Santos has been helping you all along the way?
yeah,
So do you love boxing?
yeah.
So if you could pick between going to school or going to boxing, it'd be boxing?
Yeah,
But we got to do both,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
gotta do both.
So what kind, besides going and doing your practices that you do all the time, Santos talked about going to do tournaments. When do you do those?
They come up, there's 3 tournaments a year, and then there's a final one that you try to qualify for the USA team.
So there's 3 like smaller tournaments throughout the year, and
No,
then
they're
there's
still big.
they're still big.
Yeah,
But then there's one really big one.
yeah. It's at the end
Okay.
of the year in December.
In December.
Yes,
So when
yeah.
is it coming? Did it already happen?
Yeah,
Okay.
already.
So how did you do there?
Lost in the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now what's this about tryouts that you're doing? You're going to do something with the Olympics, the Junior Olympics?
Yeah. So the tournament that I lost in the quarterfinals was actually me trying to qualify for the USA Olympic team.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just getting to try out and qualify is an honor, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
Well, there's an Eastern qualifier and there's a Western qualifier, and there's the Junior Olympics that are coming up in I want to say March, pretty sure.
So the Junior Olympics, and that's the
Yeah.
one you're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm gonna do the Eastern qualifiers.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
So is it like the Eastern, you're talking about Western and Eastern, like Western United States
Yeah.
and Eastern United States. So we fall in the Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. So first you're going to try out for the Junior Olympics like in March,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a national tournament.
the national tournament.
Yeah.
Where's that going to be at?
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
Not for sure yet.
So when you box, do you always just box people that are the same age as you or the same size as you or both?
It goes by age and weight class.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do to build up to it? If you're getting ready to have like a tournament and you're getting ready to box, how do you psych yourself up?
I really don't psych myself up. Like, it's already there. You know what I mean?
It's already there.
The
adrenaline's already pumping. Okay.
Yeah. You got the butterflies in your stomach. You know you're about to get in the ring, and it's just like you don't need to get psyched up. You already are.
Okay. And you've already done your homework
Yeah.
by practicing and making sure that you're in shape and you
Yeah.
know what you're doing and how to do it.
Yeah.
So, but when it's time to get in the ring,
It's
you're
there.
already ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you love going to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the fun part.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think's going to happen in March?
Well, hopefully I can bring back a gold medal.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Uh-huh. How many times do you have to box to get there? So like when you go in March, will you do like several, like you said you went out in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have to box several times to get to the quarterfinals?
Actually, since I was the number 2 seed, I didn't have to box the first couple of days.
Oh, so you were number 2 seed?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So the number one seed and the number 2 seed, they kind of get they call it a bye,
Uh-huh.
and so they don't compete the first.
So you
couple.
automatically
Yeah.
are a shoe-in
Yeah.
for that part.
They do it that way, so that way you get more chance of making it to the finals. So they put it in your favor, basically.
Okay, sure. So then how many times did you have to box? Just the once?
Yeah, just the one.
Okay. How long does the match last?
It's 3 minutes. No, not 3 minutes. It's 3 rounds, 2 minutes.
3 rounds, 2
2
minutes
minutes.
each.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got your gloves on, and you got do you have your helmet on?
Yeah.
And your mouth guard?
Yeah.
Okay. So are there rules on where my husband hardly ever misses a boxing match. He loves boxing. So there's rules on where you can hit
Yeah.
and how you can hit and all of that. So is there an umpire right there a referee
Yeah.
right in the ring with you? Okay. And is your coach over there in the corner?
Yeah.
Yep. Cheering you on?
Yeah.
It must be so exciting to be there.
Yeah.
So when you go, like in March, will other people go also?
Yeah.
From Muscatine?
I don't know.
Or it may be just you.
Maybe just me.
It may be just you.
Yeah.
But the one that you just went to this month, did several of you go from Muscatine?
There's 2.
2 of you?
No, not from Muscatine, from Iowa. There's only me from Muscatine and another guy from Des Moines.
Oh my gosh. That must be such an honor to represent Muscatine, just yourself.
Yeah.
That is so neat. So where do you want to take this from here?
Go pro and be successful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there what boxers do you really admire?
There's a boxer from actually Omaha.
Uh-huh.
His name's Terrence Crawford, and I mean, I think he's one of the best right now
Do you?
in the pro ranks.
Uh-huh. Any older boxes? Do you watch any of the older matches? You know, like from not Mike Tyson, but any of the George Foreman's or any of those?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Any of those stick out to you that you really like? I can't think of hardly any of the names. My husband would know them all, but it always amazes me too that a lot of them have such good character.
Yeah.
And they're kind to each other.
And
like even at the end, you know,
yeah.
when you're fighting, you think that they're your opponent, but then still you care about them.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's really neat about it?
Yeah. You make really good friendships in the ring, and it's
I bet.
funny. Yeah.
I bet you do.
You know, you'd think that 2 people in the ring wanting to take their heads off each other would not be good friends, but they actually are.
But they actually are.
Yeah.
Sure. So you hope to go pro sometime?
Yeah.
So can you go to college and get a scholarship for boxing?
I don't think so. No.
Don't think so?
No.
Okay.
But
you know, like you can for basketball or
Yeah.
football and those different kinds of
but
things.
when you say I make the USA team, they will offer me scholarships for different colleges and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, they
Okay.
provide schooling for me.
Uh-huh. If you make the USA team?
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, kind of a scholarship, but
So that would be, if on the USA team, that wouldn't be pro yet though, that would still be amateur,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
about to turn pro or.
But
go
then
to
if you
Olympics
turn pro, then you're not in college anymore, right?
No, I could still be in college.
You could?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of studies do you like? What do you see that you might want to do for your career besides boxing?
I'm interested in like manufacturing.
Are you?
Yeah, welding, stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff to do with that right here in Muscatine too, like industrial engineering and all different ways to try to make things be better on the line and do all the different things. So, who really helped you a lot with this?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Santos said your dad really helps be your coach now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Oh, so you're the only boy.
Yeah.
So you get all dad's time and attention, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I am so glad that you came on the show today, and I'm so thankful and proud that you are where you're at with your boxing.
Thank you.
It must be so fun. So is everything on your Christmas list? Look at that you right there.
Yeah.
So is everything on your Christmas list have to do with boxing?
No.
No?
No.
Do you
I
play
cannot-
video games?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah,
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Okay.
Yeah.
So Christmas is going to be here next week.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Dario, for coming on and wish you nothing but the best as you move forward. It sounds like you have laid the foundation for a successful career and, and a really successful time through your youth. It's got to be so much fun.
Yeah.
You'll probably draw all kinds of girls too. You never know. Well, thank you, Dario. If you want to just sit tight, we're going to go ahead and close out the show, and then we'll be done.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you again for coming, and congratulations on where you're at, and good luck in your future as you move forward. So we're going to close out the show. I just want to let you know the next 2 Tuesdays there will be no Our City show because there'll be Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. The following Tuesday, January 7th in 2020, I can't even believe saying that, our guests are going to be Vicki Walters with NAMI, and Lindsay Phillips is going to talk about Big Brother, Big Sister and National Mentoring Month. Reminder that we do have a regular city council meeting on Thursday. We'll be swearing in the new council members, and at 5:30 we'll have a reception to welcome the new council and to say thank you for the work and commitment that the outgoing council members have donated to the city. Please make sure that you join us if you're able to. Remember that Our City is shown live on Channel 5. It is replayed throughout the week on Mock Clink Cable TV. It's also live on YouTube and Facebook. We thank you for joining us tonight. We thank Coach Santos Saucedo for all the work that he does with youth at the Muscatine County Boxing Club. Best wishes and good luck to Dario, and thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas, Muscatine. Have a wonderful New Year, and we'll see you back here in a few weeks.